on patrons.
No.
Wait, did I do it the same thing? Hello.
You got it wrong. I'm Scott.
I'm Scott, and we're gonna do another one of these. The new to nerd sync videos. This is will Superman's new power change the status quo? Do you even know what I'm talking about when I just say that?
Yeah, when he got the
the solar flare. Is that even canon in Rebirth anymore? Does he have that?
I was gonna say you think I know, but I'm pretty sure I actually do know.
Yeah.
I don't think it is because it's a different Superman.
Okay.
I think New 52 Superman's gone.
All right then.
As far as I know.
So no more super flare.
But I have no idea.
The answer to this question is no.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. This is another fun one.
In case you missed it, Superman recently received a new
Why do I feel like I was a part of this video? Because I definitely wasn't.
I don't think so. Maybe you just watched it.
I think I just knew you when you uploaded it.
Yeah.
Shifting baselines inside comics, so yeah.
Look at that Aquaman.
That was another. Freaking! I hate myself for doing that intro.
What?
Because I was.
Welcome to Comic
Here.
Misconceptions. But it does raise some interesting questions about the status quo and shifting baselines inside comics, so...
Like, all of that was me trying to be like, smart talk! Look how smart I am! Shut
I
up.
didn't see it as that.
Welcome
Oh.
to Comic Misconceptions. I'm Scott.
if you
That was
would've
like
been
me
like-
using terms like shifting baselines. Would you have been like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I get that.
All of his solar energy that's stored up in
what's
his
it?
cells in one
Mhm.
massive
The term?
blast.
Shifting baseline syndrome?
Also has
No,
the side
the-
effect of making Clark Kent human for a
something
day
about
or two as his
verticals?
powers recharge.
Oh, a rapidly growing vertical?
Yeah.
But this new power is kind
Business.
of a big deal, not because of how powerful it is
Synergy.
on top of
I
it
can't remember
already
where I
overpowered
learned about shifting
character, but
baseline
because
syndrome.
of how DC marketed
Because
it.
normally I
You
can
see
trace
this
these back
right
to.
here. Now,
This is what I was
power
listening or
is
reading at
also
the
telling
time.
us about when Superman's other powers
New
that
year,
we
new
consider
power.
classic today were first introduced.
I can't remember.
From
I was
his
watching a
speed,
lot of
strength,
TED
flight,
talks,
and
though,
heat vision as well. It's
around
almost
this
as if
time.
DC is
Like,
telling us that
constantly
this new
watching
super
TED. That was
flare
probably
is
from a
At least
TED
you're
talk.
not like,
here
my
to
IQ is
stay,
800,
and marks a new
so
status
all you
quo for
insignificant
Superman, as if to
plebes
say
need to
that
leave
this
my
power might
premises
eventually be warped
immediately.
into other
No.
media, like animated shows,
No,
or
it's only like
perhaps
700.
even the DC cinematic universe.
No,
I
I'm a
think
dumb
this is
person.
not at all the first time that DC has
I've
given
ever taken
him
an
a new
IQ
power
test.
over
I
what
have.
Superman has
I don't like to
had.
talk about it
As a
because I feel like if you
ranging
just
from
talk about your
ventriloquism
IQ,
that
then you're
memory
immediately a
of
horrible
course,
person.
Whoa.
forget the time that he could shoot miniature versions of himself out of his hands.
Are you just talking about all his
A
powers
dozen
right
other
now?
wacky powers
Right,
as well.
because
Obviously, not every
my
power that
point
DC has
is
stuck around,
there
but the
have
ones
been
that
powers
have
that stuck
are the
around,
ones that we
like
might
his heat
consider
vision
to
or
be
whatever,
classic
but there have
Yeah.
also been powers that
even
don't
though
change
they
anything
premiered in
about
Action
him.
Comics
Yeah.
1 in 1938 with only a few
Like the one in the movie
abilities.
where he
Originally,
throws
Superman could leap great heights
some
over tall
plastic
buildings and
symbol
distances
See,
up to
I
2
almost
miles,
mentioned this,
raise
but I
his
didn't think
run
that was a
faster than
power.
speeding
I thought that was just a
train,
function of
and
the
had
suit.
skin that was
Oh.
tough but not impenetrable.
I guess
And
that's
that is
possible.
it. That's exactly as Superman
I don't
got
know, I
when he
never
first
saw the
debuted.
movie.
I'm
As
almost
content powers
positive
were added, we now
this,
have a
that
different
exact
view
like
of Superman in
conversation
our minds
thread
today, who
is
would
somewhere in
take
the
on
comments here, where
evolution,
someone,
become
Oh,
where a
okay.
couple people were like,
stronger and more
"Why didn't
durable,
you mention
or
this?" And I was
something
like,
new
"Because I
abilities
just thought it was."
along the
Oh,
way.
you know what it was? I did a
Senses
video a long
like
time
his
ago about
superhero
Superman's
Right.
crazy
optical
powers.
powers like X-ray
Oh, okay.
vision,
And
Venus
I
and
didn't
Grindel
mention that
calls,
one.
quote,
I think I mentioned in the
"Great
video that I
lifesaver."
didn't talk about it because I
Superman
was
didn't
like,
have to
it
bust
could
the
just be a
ceiling
function of
to
the
see if
suit. I
anyone
don't
was in
know.
a building
But
anymore.
yeah.
From
I don't
that
consider that a
came
power.
his heat vision that was actually first described
Whoa,
as
he's
the peak of
Cyclops.
his X-ray vision and eventually became its own power. And through that
Yeah.
heat vision,
Ew.
we now have the
Look at him,
super
and then
flare.
super flare.
Bad art.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I really hate that art so much.
Tommy Jr., go
Find
kill
their way
yourself.
back
I
into
mean,
the
don't,
medium.
but
This
like,
happened probably most
stop
notably
drawing.
with Superman's ability to
Stop
fly,
giving
which
him work.
Kiss.
first in the Fleischer Studios Superman cartoons.
What?
because
We had a lot
frankly,
of
flying was cheaper to animate
discussion
than
about
having to
this.
leap long distances. A simple trick to cut the cost of these animated films was shortly
because
thereafter
some
brought
there
into
was
the
like a
comics, and it's been a staple
Tales
of
from the
Superman's
comments before
power
Tales from the
set
comments
ever
type of
since.
video
Now it seems
where
weird
people were
to have a
saying
Superman that can't fly, or at least won't
that he
eventually
also
learn to
had
fly
the
in
ability
some
to fly in the
story
radio
involving a
show, which
lesser
was before that
experienced Man of
cartoon.
Steel. And it's
Oh.
not just his
I don't
powers
think
that
that's
have changed
true.
either.
I kind of like
Superman's
conceded
suit,
my
especially
point
his
in that
chest
because I was like
bone,
scared
is
that people would be like,
iconic.
"You're
Yes,
dumb," and I was like,
symbols
"Yeah,
are
you're probably right. He probably did fly in the radio thing," but like, really all it was is they said that he had the power to control his movements in the air, like when he was flying.
Oh, like turn and stuff.
Yeah, like just do that. So it's like it doesn't have to be flying. It could just be him jumping and controlling where he lands.
Yeah.
You know,
That makes
it was
sense.
vague enough that it could go either way.
Which kind of makes you
I
wonder,
gotcha.
if DC continues down that line of keeping the Red Trunks out of the picture, will there be kids born today or
talking
sometime?
about his
Will there be kids born today who don't know that Superman has red underwear, like is synonymous with red underwear on the outside. Yeah. Yeah, because they're children. They don't understand anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Every child is born not knowing that.
Every child doesn't immediately know. Like, original sin is not Superman.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, you get my point, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
This is something known as shifting baseline syndrome. Shifting baselines are often referenced in
Why
terms of
not?
ecology, but I think we can easily apply
I think there's
to
just
comics
too
and
much
really
media
anything.
of Superman
Essentially, it
with
describes changes
the red
in how
trunks.
something is
But what if
measured over
somebody
time
goes
against
up,
certain
like,
reference
not
points? More specifically,
about
each new
any of that?
generation accepts
Oh,
the
so
world
like they're
they were
not
born
involved.
in and
I
are
still think
used
there's a
to
lot of
rather than
media
ignored,
that
even
will
though
even
it can be
permeate pop
radically
culture
different
so
than
that
previous
people,
generations.
because
Like
people
my
will
friends
still
who
make,
never know
like,
life
I'm
without
sure
think-
comedians will
Like me or
still
you,
make
who will never
jokes
know what
about
life
it.
without movies
So
was
like
like.
even if they're not paying
Trying to
attention to
randomly
Superman, they'll be
hero,
like,
just
oh, that
for a single
comedian.
building
I
was
haven't heard a
built.
reference
We take
to
the
his
world that we
red
were
trunks in a
specifically
long
born and
time.
raised in and use
Sure.
it as our personal
And I think one of the
reference
reasons
point,
of that is because of the
baseline to measure
movies.
against how the world
Yeah.
is
Because, like,
changing.
any
As each new
marketing
generation is
nowadays
slightly different
in, like,
version of the world, these baselines
general pop
shift
culture is
because
gonna
it's
use the
easier and more
movies.
tangible for us to make
And he
comparisons
doesn't
to a
have the
world that
red
we
boys.
actually know.
I would say-
Superman, because I promised there
I
was
would
a
say
point.
there's
His
also the
entire baseline
cartoons.
from which we measure him has drastically
Yeah.
changed from his first appearance
And also
all those
just
years
like
ago.
marketing
From a guy
in
with some
general,
standard
right?
powers
So
to
like a
hero with an
Superman
entire
lunchbox
Wikipedia
will
page
probably
dedicated to
have
all
a
of his
classic
different abilities.
Yeah, but who
Superman.
has lunchboxes?
I'm just saying if someone that stuff there's so much of that stuff around that like even if they're not paying attention, they could just walk into a store and see a Superman on a shirt and most likely that Superman will probably still have red trunks
So
on.
I think with a kid born like today,
Yeah.
they would be like, oh, interesting. Superman has red trunks in this.
Yeah.
Normally he has blue.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, cool, classic Superman. It'd just be a flip-flop. Why do you think this one is good for people new to nerds?
Because it again it's the a lot of the times when I chose these videos, I wanted to demonstrate that we're talking about comic book history a little bit here by talking about the history of his powers, but we're also going a little bit deeper by talking about them in a more broader sense, in a more critical analysis type of thing.
That makes sense.
So I wanted to say, hey, you'll learn about powers, but you'll also learn about this other concept that I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
And ask questions and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I picked this and the Daredevil video, because that also dives into a lot of Daredevil's lore, but also talks about some more interesting stuff.
That makes sense. It's a good idea.
So I have 3 questions for you guys.
We
Oh.
got 3 questions.
I just want to say, little YouTube tip to everybody, including you here, Dylan. When you specifically call out things like that, instead of just saying, what do you think, let me know in the comments, if I say, I have 3 questions for you, and then, or 2 questions, or whatever, but like if you really put a heavy focus on like the question part, people will respond like crazy. Because I did that recently in a video where I was like, I can't remember which video it was, but it was something that had like 1,000+ comments like the first day, because people were just, because as soon as I called attention to, I have 3 questions for you, 1, 2, 3. Even though all of the other videos beforehand have had 3 questions in them, they're like,
Yeah.
what do you think about this? And this? What are your thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments. Like, because I'm not calling attention to it, everyone's just kind of like, whatever. But I'm like, so I have a couple questions. Number 1, this. Number 2, that. Number 3. And, like, putting that emphasis gets people to participate a lot more.
I've been kind of doing that on the show at the views just organically.
Yeah.
Because there was one where...
See, I do talk about it in this middle video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There... Oh, yeah. Anyway. One of the episodes on Show with Reviews, I was like, oh, hey, I actually want to ask you about a thing this time instead of what I normally am just like, talk about what you got.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody responds because they don't care.
Right.
But now I've been making more of an effort to actually... and I mostly try and tie in the question with like the title and the thumbnail and everything. So like, the last episode is going to date this a little bit, but the last episode of reviews was about Totally Awesome Hulk and Jeremy Lin's cameo. And I was like, was that a good? That was my question.
Nice. But I try to space out whenever I ask like that thing, whenever I try to go like, oh, 3 questions or whatever. because if I do it every week, then eventually just no one will care. But like
Yeah.
if I do it for a video where I expect there's probably not going to be a lot of engagement, then it kind of balances it out. Or if I do it for one that I expect there already going to be a lot of engagement, then it like triples it a little bit. So that's a little YouTube tip, a little behind the scenes. That's called a call to action, everybody.
A CTA.
A CTA.
Woo
Woo. But yeah, that's this video, Shifting Baseline Syndrome. It's interesting. It's a good concept. Literally, this whole section of videos of NerdSync's span has just been me going, what's a cool thing I heard about from a TED Talk or from a Radio Lab episode? And then how can I apply it to comic books? And that, I mean, that's still kind of what I do. Honestly, nothing has changed. But more so, I feel like it might be a little bit more natural today, because this was more just like these videos feel natural. But there are a lot of them where I'm like, here's an interesting concept. Let me shoehorn in a character just so I can talk about this one concept.
Yeah.
These two feel natural, I think, to me, because they were things that were happening at the time. Daredevil was premiering.
Yeah.
This is when Superman just got his new power, and I'm like, update video. Let's talk about it. Also, these videos did really well.
Nice.
These got like hundreds of thousands of views. So
Nice.
cool. Well, let us know. I'm actually really curious. Call to action, everybody. In the Patreon comments, I would genuinely love to know if you think these videos represent NerdSync well today.
Yeah. The whole playlist of it is on the channel page.
Yes, the whole playlist is there. I updated it not too long ago with just newer videos, and I took some older ones off.
Yeah, okay.
So let me know if you think there's a video on there that is absolutely not representative of NerdSync now, or if you think there's one that should be there. Not because it's your favorite necessarily. It could be your favorite. But more so because it just fits the theme of this is what a newcomer needs to watch. Maybe it was your first video that you watched and it got you hooked on NerdSync. I don't know.
I think the first one should be a new one.
A new one?
Yeah, just so that people click on it if they haven't seen anything, and are like, oh hey, this, or not like a super new one, but one where at least you're in the same set.
Yeah.
So people don't feel like they watch something completely foreign.
Fair enough.
Kind of eases them into it.
I get that. The way that I have them organized now, it's not arbitrary. I have them organized by subscribers gained. So these are so they're organized by which video, because I do have some newer ones in that playlist that is the same set.
Okay.
They're like a little bit later because they're not as effective of getting people to subscribe as these videos are. So
that makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, I can experiment around with it. I think the latest one, like the newest one I might have, is probably either the Clone Saga one, because I just really love that. Yeah. If I had to pick what's like my favorite NerdSync video, that's probably it.
Yeah.
And then I think there's the Real Origin of Harley Quinn, because that one did very, very well, really quickly. And those are probably the two newest ones in that playlist. So.
Those are good
but those felt the Clone Saga one didn't feel timely. The Harley Quinn one felt too timely to put like at the forefront of everything. I don't know. I mean, if this one is timely, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Who needs it?
Yeah, I would love to know some of your thoughts. I have 2 questions for you in the comments. Yeah, no, it's fine. Thanks for being patrons, everyone. My third question is, what are you wearing today? What's your shirt color?
Red and black.
It's a red and black shirt.
Yeah.
It's a good combo.
My mic just died a little.
You're like rocking a nice kind of like just like a nice red and black striped sweater.
No, it's a flannel.
No, yeah, people don't know that. I can paint a word picture however I want.
It's a flannel. It's a red and black flannel.
He's wearing pinstripes. It's vertical stripes.
No, it's not. It's flannel.
Well, there are vertical stripes.
Flannel is a very specific pattern.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Also a texture. Material.